Hi guys, it's Russ again. We're back at the Transformers Power Station, which of course is in Battersea. We've been very lucky to have the Robosen official reveal today. You've already seen the unboxing, hopefully in some of the demonstration, but of course while we've got Sujan here from Robosen, I feel it only appropriate to ask him a few questions.
Ask away.
So some of them I've got to confess, there's some for myself which I'd like to know, but primarily of course about Bumblebee, but also I suppose when did Robosen sort of start up? How long has that been going?
So Robosen has been going since 2008, so it's been going for quite a long time. But the first consumer robots made their way out, I believe, in 2020 with Optimus Prime. There was a couple of others too, K1 and T9, which were kind of other robots that are unrelated to Transformers. But yeah, so about just over 16 years, roughly.
So that's pretty much segued into my next question. My next question was obviously robotics was the first sort of the whole reason of the startup of the whole company.
Yeah.
So how many years did it take to think that you really went into looking at, auto-converting, actual transforming figures?
Not sure really. I mean, it's hard to say. As I say, the only thing I know at this point is basically T9 was the first Transformers, so it's likely been going on for a while with experimentation with the robotics, but only then did it start turning into, wait a minute, this could be Optimus Prime. This could be the start of something new, I suppose.
Okay, so
but yeah, that's how we basically got started, I believe. There might be more information, but that's as far as I know.
that's okay. That's more than so. Obviously, Optimus Prime was the first. So, how long was that sort of from concept to physical? You can demonstrate a robot. I know, of course, there's some things that get glitches, but how long from concept to we have a physical product which you can see?
So I mean, robotics generally, they take a lot of work through engineering, design, and all kinds of different layers of production. So there's different versions of the actual robot it goes through a different sort of cycle. So there are a few different versions before it gets to release version. But for Optimus Prime, it took, I believe, around 12 years, basically of the combined robotic knowledge to get to that point. When you got to, say, Grimlock, it was more like about 7 years.
Okay.
That was a more complex transformation. Then Megatron was about 2, as far as I'm aware. So it's quite quick, that one. And then with Bumblebee here, so I've been told it's around, so it's 3 to 5 years, I believe. So kind of around that time.
So obviously it is, apart from perhaps this one, but it is speeding up really, because I suppose once you've got the technology in the process, it's just a case of, again, taking different parts of the outside, the inner robot tends to sort of be the same, doesn't it, with of course the articulation of the arms, or how much? Oh, again, an arm's an arm, isn't it? So that's what we're sort of looking at. Okay, so a bit of a, I suppose, a play on words, but obviously they're robots. Are they made in factories and production lines, or is it robots making robots, or is it more sort of people in person, hands-on doing it?
I suppose it could be robots making robots, yeah, like it could be, it's a kind of ironic, isn't it? But yes, I suppose that would be the case. They are from Shenzhen in China, so that's when they're manufactured.
Okay.
But they're all kind of licensed by the actual license holders, so anything Hasbro is always licensed by Hasbro. For example, any Transformers Hasbro, then we've also got the other sides as well, which is Disney.
Yeah.
So we have different sides, but they are all licensed, which means they hold the same, or everything. Voice actors, look, method of transformation is also based on models. So yeah, there's quite a lot that's
there's a lot of loopholes, there's a lot of things that have got to be official, haven't they? Again, like you say, you've got to have the correct voice, you've got to have the correct logo.
It's loyal and true to the source material, let's put it that way, and each character has their own little things that they have, and their own personalities, their own weapons, that kind of thing.
Okay, brilliant. Funny enough, because we've got him here, you obviously already had a Bumblebee before. Robosen had a Bumblebee, but
we did, yeah.
That wasn't one that converted. So, a couple of things. What was the reasons, and how long did it take for you guys to realise that we do actually need an auto-converting Bumblebee? So
from the company's perspective, I imagine they would probably have gotten feedback from demonstrations that happened. I know for certain, so I've actually demonstrated Bumblebee quite a lot, and I've demonstrated it along Optimus Prime. But the thing is, so we actually got the Bumblebee right here. So this is the Bumblebee that we used to have, which is the performance version of Bumblebee. The performance robots we do are more kind of lighter robots that are easy to get into, and this one was about, I think it's 449 pounds. So when you compare it to Optimus Prime's £699 mark, it's a lot mockingly cheaper. So you get like a Transformers IP for cheaper. But the problem is, when you see it next to Optimus Prime, you think, does this one transform? Does it do it? And it's like, it doesn't transform. There was a little joke in it, which is called circuit fault, which is an action where he sort of falls over trying to transform.
Okay.
Quite a fun little thing. Someone's pointed that out to me, but yeah. That's probably the reasoning. So here we are with the flagship version, which actually transforms now, which is good.
That's brilliant. So, is there any sort of key factors, or basically what is the key factor or main decision making on sort of deciding which characters are, you know, big enough, I suppose, to be able to be a robot, you know, to be an auto-converting one? Of course, you've got, as you say, the main characters, but is there anything else that you think is a key factor for picking the, I suppose, exactly that, toys that you know are going to work?
I honestly think it might be more to do with sort of feedback from who you show it to. So there's a lot of different ones that basically, a lot of different transformers that come up. I'm not going to say which ones, you can guess that for yourself.
Yeah.
But you can have, but you generally get, I had quite a lot of people asking me about certain transformers or certain sort of Disney things, for example, certain different things. But essentially, I think it's based on essentially feedback. So the excitement of the crowd and what they want, essentially.
That makes perfect sense, to be fair. So, you know, I mean, there's a bit of a tongue-in-cheek joke here, but I suppose you don't get any like voice actors calling you up and saying, make a robot for me for them to voice, because you do get, as I say, which is great.
Oh, yeah.
You get the official voices, which of course is, I suppose, massive for it, because that's one of the things that's going to sell the products, isn't it?
Absolutely. I don't know if the voice actors actually do get in contact with us, but I imagine it would be something to do more with the Hasbro side. So you have so as you might know, as anyone might know, the voice actors are essentially the same original voice actors for each robot as they originally were. So for example, this one's Dan Gilvezan.
Yep.
So he's the voice actor for this one. But yeah, I wouldn't know if he's I guess asked himself. I would imagine.
No. It was, as I say,
takes approving.
I think I was going to say it must just be again a privilege for them to see themselves. As I say, they've seen themselves in cartoons, and now to see themselves in a fully live-action toy must just be, I suppose, the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
Lovely. So I think you've pretty much covered everything on there. It's great to see the fact that we've got an auto-converting one. And as I say, this guy is going to be on demonstration at the store, isn't he? He's going to be here at Battersea.
He is, absolutely. And also we finish off with a transformation for the crowd.
I think he definitely should. Let me move that out of the way.
Let's do that. Hey, Bumblebee.
How's it going?
Introduce yourself.
Hey, my name's Bumblebee, a Decepticon's worst nightmare.